Hey YouTube, welcome to the final video on the gravel grader series. I hope you've watched some of the videos up until now and I hope you've enjoyed them. I've certainly had a lot of fun building it, and now we're going to have a look at it in action and a bit of an analysis on how the design works. On with the show. Well, at long last the gravel grader's all finished and I'm hooking it up to the tractor for the very first time to try it out. I must say it's a little bit exciting. I'm looking forward to trying it out at this point. Want to see if I got the design right and if it does what I intended it to do. The only thing that was a minor disappointment is that I couldn't match the paint colour correctly. The closest I could come to was tractor blue, and the Mitsubishi tractor has a different colour blue. I probably could have taken this paint specifications to a paint shop and had them mix the right colour, but tractor blue was on the shelf and I wanted to get it painted without doing the 1 hour round trip to the paint shop. As you can see, the wheels on the gravel grader aren't turning. This is because the gravel down below is so compacted that the fingers are just sliding over the top of it and having a real hard time digging in to move it. It takes a few passes, but they eventually do penetrate into the gravel, but in the meantime the wheels don't turn because they're held up above the ground. As the fingers penetrate further in, wheels will start to turn. I've proved that in other areas. And I guess the moral of the story is don't leave it 12 years before you start trimming up your gravel driveway. The other thing worth noting here is that I have the fingers extended a long way out. They're in the second last hole. So the fingers are actually digging a good deal deeper than I would think you'd normally need to do on a well-maintained driveway. Even though we're not getting full penetration into the gravel, you can see that the gravel is being churned up and that the leveler bar is doing its job in smoothing out the gravel behind it. While the gravel grader itself is fairly heavy, I think it would benefit from some extra weight for this particular job. I was thinking if I placed 20 gallon or a 44 gallon drum on it and filled it with some water, that would add the extra weight. However, I am getting a little bit of wheel slippage when the gravel grader digs in deeply, and I'm dragging it with an 18.5 horsepower tractor, so I'm a little bit conscious of not overloading it. I think in the long run it would probably be better if I just do multiple passes until I penetrate deeply enough. Here's another run along the same area a little bit later. As you can see, the fingers are digging in a bit deeper occasionally. They're still sitting on the compacted gravel underneath, and the wheels aren't turning most of the time, but every now and then you can see that they manage to penetrate deep enough and the wheels just give a little turn. It's taken a few runs to get to this stage, but it's coming along. As you can see, the leveler bar is doing its job and, well, leveling out the gravel. Floating in the leveler bar on the arm so that it rides up and down has worked very well. I'm quite happy with it and does, well, exactly what I expected. Beautiful. Part of the reason why the wheels are riding so high is I have the fingers extended to the second last hole. I did this in order to try and promote penetration into the compacted gravel because I really want to stir up the gravel at the bottom, and I think that gravel is a good 150 mil or about 6 inches deep. Could well be more in some spots. When I designed this, I had initially thought to design the fingers so that the bottom sloped at 45 degrees, and I was going to weld a plate onto the 45 degrees sloping forward surface to make the finger a bit wider, and then, if you can sort of imagine what I'm trying to explain, the finger would drag the grader down into the deeper gravel and help lift it up. Now, I didn't do that because I was a bit concerned about whether the tractor could actually pull that load through the gravel. And I'm getting a little bit of wheel spin now, so it's still a question mark in my mind about whether that's a good idea or not. However, looking at the difficulty that I'm having getting to the bottom of the gravel layer, I think I'm going to try making at least a couple of those fingers. I might try every second finger for a start and just see how that goes, and if that works I might replace them all. On the other hand, if I do another few runs and it goes down deep enough, I may not do anything. If I do make any changes and they work, I'll post a video just to show you what I did and give you a rundown on how it went. I wish I thought to get some footage of the driveway before I started, but unfortunately I didn't. So here it is after a little bit of work on it. It still needs a lot more work to get it the way I'd like it, but as you can see, it's coming along nicely. I'm afraid you'll have to take my word for it that there was no gravel visible when I started. And here's something I haven't really demonstrated in any detail yet, and that's the ability to differentially adjust the height of each side of the grading. So if you want to put some camber in your driveway like I have on the road, with the centre being a little bit higher than the outsides to help the rain run off, just adjust one side of the grader up higher than the other and have the low side on the outside of the driveway. And of course the whole purpose of having two actuators is so that you can adjust either side to be the low side. I think this is a nice feature, and it was the whole purpose of having two actuators was to be able to differentially adjust them. I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. It worked just as well as I hoped. When I bought these actuators, it said that they were internally limited to stop them overextending. Now, it wasn't specific about it, but I assumed that meant that it had a cut-off switch internally, which turned the motor off. I'm not so sure about that now because I've blown two fuses because I forgot to turn the switches off. Now that's entirely my fault. I cheaped out on the switches and I bought two switches that are toggles, but they don't automatically return to the centre off position. To get the same two switches in a rocker that automatically return to the centre off position was twice the price. And I didn't think it was necessary because, hey, the actuators have a cut-off. Yeah, okay. Well, all I can say is I'm glad that I put a fuse in the line because I've blown two of the fuses now, but that saved the wiring. So, not complaining about the fuses. I'm a little bit annoyed about the confusion about how the actuators actually are controlled, but never mind, I accept that that's my misinterpretation. And one day I'll probably get around to replacing these switches with some that automatically return to the centre off position. I've had a chance to use it now, so I'll talk about what I'd change about it. Well, first thing, these fingers. I think they're fine for your average gravel driveway, which is just light gravel, but mine's crusher dust, and that means fairly heavy stones in it. It's very compacted. When I try to go over it, it's packed so tight that the fingers actually slide over the top and the wheels are not even turning. They're lifted up because the fingers can't penetrate it until I've run over it a few times and they start to loosen it up and dig a little bit deeper. As I say, I think they'd be okay for a normal gravel driveway, but for mine I think I should have made them maybe another 4 inches or 100 mils higher with a few more holes, because I'm down to the second last hole already. I think I could probably even go down to the last hole for the driveway I've got. I don't have anything for feed down as they wear out. The saving grace of it is I can weld another piece onto the top and smooth it off, and it'll work fine. I think for a heavy driveway where you've got to go deep, I think I'd make the fingers a little bit longer on this top end. Next thing is the clearance on the tyre, and this leveller bar. There's about 3mm clearance there, about 1/8 of an inch, and the wheels are fully down and the body's fully lifted. Clearance is clearance, and 3mm, 1/8 of an inch is fine. However, I think that were I to do this again, I'd make these arms here about 25mm or 1 inch longer. Make these tabs here the same, 25mm or 1 inch longer out here, so I keep the same extension on this. That would move the wheels out a little bit further. We'd raise up a little bit higher and have a lot more clearance there. Another thing, I used bolts to bolt these fingers in. That was just downright silly. What I should have done is just pinned them in with a little R-clip either side to hold them, or I could have run a 1/2 inch pin all the way through from one end to the other, just an R-clip on each end, because pull the whole lot out would have been a lot quicker, simpler, and probably cheaper too. But anyway, one day I might do that. I don't have to adjust them that often. I think I've moved them twice since I put them in to lower them a little bit each time, so that's fine. The only other thing is I would run the wire underneath the SHS rather than on top, because as I was dragging the grader through the gravel driveway, initially the gravel was that compacted and had that much dirt in it that I couldn't get the fingers to penetrate. The wheels weren't turning, they were sitting up above the gravel because these fingers were just skidding on the gravel, they couldn't get in. After a few runs they got deeper and it worked better. I was thinking that without the wires I could have had a 44 gallon drum on top and put a bit of water into it to help the weight penetrate the fingers. On the other hand, I've only got a 19 horsepower tractor. It's only a small thing, so too much weight on it would be no good, and once the gravel gets loose on the top I think you'd just spin the wheels if you had too much weight pushing these into the really compact gravel. All in all, I'm really happy with how it's worked. It's met all of my expectations, so I'm very happy with the design and that it came out and worked as good as I thought it might. There you have it. If you need a gravel grader, I'd highly recommend this design. Well, that's it for the gravel grader. If you'd like to build one of your own, you can go to my website and download the plans. There's also links to some of the parts that you need. You can buy them on eBay. I hope you've enjoyed the series, and I hope you consider subscribing to my channel, and please don't forget to click like. Thank you for watching. Until next time.